Okay, what we have here is a super special Martin Blackwell Doubletop guitar. And I'm going to get into what's special about the woods and everything, but I want to start with what I find special about the sound. Now, this is a 2016 Martin Blackwell guitar, and my personal favorite Martin Blackwell guitar is from 2017. And I have lots of guitars and I've been through a lot of instruments. And this one I've really held off from making a video of and listing for sale because I've been comparing the two, and gosh, they are so neck and neck that it's infuriating. And they both have some pros and cons from one another, but ultimately I'm going to let this one go, even though I wish I could keep it. It just doesn't make sense to have two guitars from the same maker. Now, first off, this is from 2016. The top it's a cedar double top, but it's Nomex in between. And this particular guitar is very open sounding and also very deep, yet bright and cuts through. And let me explain. Sometimes what I feel about different Blackwells I play is that they're a little too dark sounding. And when it's too dark, it sounds really great for romantic music and, you know, just some light playing and stuff. But once you start playing contrapuntal things like Bach, Scarlatti, or I mean, any Spanish music that has a little bit more punch to it, then you start wishing it had a little bit more of the bright end. And that's what my two favorite guitars here by Martin Blackwell have, is that bright end along with the depth. Now, on the subject of depth, this guitar has a very low main air resonance frequency. And if that sounds like nerdy guitar talk, you can just fast forward. But for right now, let me tell you a little bit about that. Most of the Martin Blackwell guitars that I've played have been higher main air resonance, between F sharp and G sharp. That means the tap tone you'll hear people call it when you tap the bridge, or from the behind the guitar like this. This guitar is between E and E flat to my ears. It's actually, sometimes I hear some different tones. It's a little tricky with this instrument, oddly, to find it, but it's very, very deep. And I think even from that little intro that I played for you there, you can hear it. When you play the low E string, you get this really bulbous, deep feeling in the guitar. I mean, it vibrates against your chest, but the audience also hears it. It has a very deep sound. And when you tune to drop D, oh my gosh, you have to hear this. Oh my gosh, I think you can hear it. This is not a guitar that I feel like it's a difficult sell. It's an incredible guitar. I've had several colleagues play it and really love it, and tell me to hang on to it. So I'm nervous selling this instrument, but ultimately I have a problem and I have to admit to that. And I buy too many guitars. So you can hear that really deep sound. Now, I gotta tell you, there's an issue sometimes with guitars that have a very low main air resonance. And that is that the E's sound bad. They almost like cancel out. There's like a wolf tone there. And when I play this E, make sure I'm in tune, there's no canceling out of the E. If I mute all the other strings, it still sounds great. It sounds like a normal deep low E that you hear on some of the finest Spanish guitars of the past. You think Santos Fernandez or I mean, even like old Torres's, you just hear this, or Simplicio, you hear this deep depth of the instrument and not a loss of sustain. it's super, super cool. So this guitar doesn't have any frequencies that just like shut down when you have that guitar tuned this low. When I say tuned, I mean the luthier's work of tuning the instrument to where it's lower pitch. Gosh, what are some other details? I haven't even talked about the specs of this guitar, and like specs matter, right? For me, sometimes like, you know, you hear, oh, it's a cedar top, but sometimes cedar tops sound really bright, and sometimes cedar tops sound really dark. Sometimes spruce tops sound really bright, and sometimes really dark. So the specs hardly matter. In some ways, it's the sound that matters of an instrument, how it feels in your hands. But I want to at least show you some of these things because there's other things besides the sound that makes this guitar special. It is a cedar double top instrument. You can see these maple wedges that he puts in his iconic rosette. And then the back and sides are this beautiful flamed maple or sycamore. I'm actually not sure, to be honest. But what you can see is that in the light, it shines like crazy. And in the dark, which I can't shut my blinds here now, but in the dark, it has this like really beautiful, rich color to it. And what I really like is when you're playing the guitar, you can't see the back and side so much, but every now and then, you know, you turn and you get a little glimpse of it. The audience gets a little glimpse of it, and it catches your eye. It's like, whoa, that's really beautiful. Now, I want to show you too, it does have a raised fingerboard. This is standard on all Martin Blackwell guitars. There is room on the saddle to adjust the action if you would like it to be even lower, although I like it where it's at here. It's about 3.5 millimeters on the bass and maybe a little bit less than 3 on the trebles here, from the 12th fret to the bottom of the string. Goto tuners, really nice smooth tuning machines in this. Whether it's gold plated or gold, I'm not sure, but they certainly look nice against the maple body here. What else is there to say about it? A very nice, comfortable neck. Some of the necks that Martin used to make I find a bit too thick, but this one is really nice. I really enjoy it. It's 650 scale, 52.5 millimeter nut, fairly standard specs there. 52 is the standard nut width, so this one is 0.5 millimeter more. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even notice that difference. And if you ever did feel it was a little too wide, I think the solution there would be get a new nut made with a little bit less wide spacing between the strings, and it'll feel super, super comfortable for you. Wow, well, I don't know what else to say about this instrument. I feel like I really went into the nitty-gritty with the sound, and I also played some passages for you. But I wanted to close by just playing some excerpts of a piece for you. I hope you enjoy. I always have new guitars in that I'm excited to talk with you all about. So write me a message, send me an email. I'll put my email here, and visit my website for more information. But I really hope you've enjoyed this instrument and hearing a little bit more of this 2016 Martin Blackwell guitar. Thanks.